On va s'étonner, hein?
La réforme municipale? Moi, je vais être aussi d'abord avec mon autre, tu vas pas vous dire.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our meeting of September 12th. So we will start with the O Canada. We're hoping the music is working this evening. And now the reflection of the council. Us, as a municipal official, we commit to look at our community inspiringly and favorably. We're also taking the responsibilities to always have a right judgment and at any time during our deliberation, so all our actions are efficient and inspiring and oriented with the global wellness of the citizens. Thank you very much. So before we start the meeting, I would like to mention also like the that of a few individuals only have like a one queen, and she passed away. Elizabeth II. Just take note. So Mrs. Um, i- the Queen came to Shediac in 1984. We found some pictures. She met with the mayor Michel Léger and other members of the council. So it was a special occasion. And also like the former Maurice Béliveau is the former fire chief and counseling. He passed away at the age of 83 years old. So maybe just have a minute of silence for those two individuals. Thank you. And as always, before I start the meeting, I would like to note that we are gathering on the traditional and unceded territory of the Mi'kmaq and Wolastoq people. It's a pleasure of seeing you all of you this evening. So the quorum, we are all here, Mr. Clerk, as you can see. Declaration of conflict of interest. Any council members would like to declare any conflict of interest for some items on the agenda? Seeing none. And we need a motion to adopt the agenda as presented, moved by Councillor Emile O'Brien, seconded by Councillor Sylvie Boudreau. Questions on the motion? If not, all those in favor saying aye. Against nay. Motion carried. Number 5, adoption of the minutes. So we have the one for August 29, 2022. So you would have, it was a new package. So we need a motion to adopt the minutes as presented, moved by Councillor Paul Boudreau, seconded by Deputy Mayor Jean-Claude Bertin. Questions on any items in the minutes? Anything that were not exact or accurate? If not, all those in favor saying aye. Against nay, motion carried. So this evening we have a presentation from Shediac Downtown Inc. They will present their budget for 2023. So I see like you have like the director and the president in the room. So you can expose what you have in mind for 2023. Good evening, Mr. Mayor and councilors. I'm Annick Roy. I'm the chair of the board of the corporation, and I'm also manager of the Dixie downtown. And with me, there is like the Anne Miller, the director. Thanks for welcoming us, inviting us this evening to present the 2023 budget. You would all have received like the letter and the budget for 2023. So the operation for the zone for the business administration area, as you know, like the corporations aren't under the provincial act, stating that the municipality has to approve like the annual budget for so that the corporation can remain active. So during our meeting, the board meeting of August 24, we adopted our operation budget for 2023 for the amount of 115,600 for 2023. So the revenues for the business area 102,000. Like the assessment will mean the 20 cents for each $100 of property evaluation. For 2023, we want to encourage people to come downtown, either like for leisure or shop, as a novelty, and to encourage like to buy like the downtown purchase. We will have a gift card, and we thank you like for your collaboration and financial support. By preparing for 2023, like the board of the Downtown Shediac Inc. is asking us to approve the budget for 2023 for 115,600. Do you have any questions for the 2023 budget? Any members who would have a question? Yes, I have a question. I see like for your revenue, the 102,000, like it's very well. So for the development, so does it have an impact on your revenues? So since the buildings are not there? Yes, for now, like these lots are identified as a vacant land because there's no building on it, and as long as there's nothing that was registered, so no building permits or nothing for now. Like we only have like the like for the property assessment is for a vacant land. So that's we're going. Thank you for your. So my concern is for the municipal contribution. If there's no revenue, so I would $12,000 for what you're offering to the citizen downtown. It's not even 10% of your budget. So just to make sure, like, so the for the so before the development is coming in, just to make sure, like, I'm very happy, like you're asking for the excellent animation you offer like throughout the years. So $12,000, is it enough? Like what we just mentioned. So maybe I can just elaborate on this. So that's $12,000. Well, as the deputy mayor knows the story of it, it's for the storage, the maintenance, and the installation of the Christmas decoration. We had received a grant from the provincial and federal government to purchase like all the Christmas decorations, so we bought them with the grant. And what happened, like it was the maintenance, and at the time, like the town told us it would help us, and yes, indeed, this amount now is it's way more expensive than what we estimated, but it was an agreement. So when I started in 2012, so what the agreement was an amount of $12,000, but now like the agreement we have with Expert Decor is above and beyond the 12,000 because the downtown is the heart of the town. So my concern, like, because of different circumstances, you could not offer what you're offering. So our contribution is very important. Thank you, Paul. Councillor Patricia. Thanks. Yes, we had discussed at the meeting that for Downtown Inc. like to submit a request to the town for at least an amount of $15,000 that would cover, because in the budget, like the maintenance and the storage of the decorations, well, it's 15,000. So they could not put like 15,000 if the town hadn't accept that amount yet. So we wanted to submit a request to increase it. You think 15,000 is not a lot, so no problem. We'll discuss it at the budget. So your request is for the 12th, so for 2023. So maybe we could adjust after. Perfect. Anything else? Thank you very much. And I would just like to thank Mrs. Janice Cormier for her good advice, like during our board meetings. And I would like to thank also like the council of the town for your support, for your continued support for downtown. Mr. Deputy Mayor, you had a question. So the development being done also, is it supposed to start like this year? So it would help for 2024 for property taxes. So they're close to getting their permit. So we should get some news like within over the next few days or weeks. So will it help? Well, it depends also of the renovations or what will be done. So it depends on the assessment. So, and it could have like a negative impact, like and it might gain in 2024. So we're expecting, well, it will be lower. And when we work on the budget, we made sure it was taken into consideration. So because it changed, so that's why we. So they made a request, submitted a request for 12,000. It's in the budget, and when it's later in the agenda. So we're just doing the presentation. Councillor Paul Boudreau, second time. For the development also, so Saint-Anne Street is part of that zone. So the new complex, are they paying? No, it's considered residential. It's the same like for new construction. So it's just like it's just for the commercial location when the VIA. So for apartments, it's not. It does not like brings us but it brings people downtown. So it will help our business. Are there any form per capita? Because it's a big complex. So. And it adds other people too. It's just to review also the zoning of downtown over the years. I know the province had individuals to manage this file, and I think maybe we should ask the province to expand our downtown. I think you had submitted a request to expand it, and they could not process it because at the Department of Finance, like nobody manages. And just to tell you, well, we would have to start a process, but before starting a process, like the province has to designate an individuals, and right now the priority of the department, because you have two departments. You have the Department of Finance and the local governments. For now, like it's the new reform, so they don't have time for this. So it might come later. It might be phase 2, and also they're limited with 20 cents, so they cannot go above. So that's the maximum they can charge. Councillor Bro, and I would like to congratulate you for your great work. Of course, we do not have any problems with the $12,000. But if during the year we have any projects or things we would like to do, which is outside of this budget, we would recommend you like to come and see us, and I'm sure like the council would be open to make sure like life the downtown Shediac also is at the maximum. So do not don't be caught in the budget. And if ever you would like to do something downtown, so we are working on the budget request. So we are working on it and reflecting. Thank you very much for your presentation. Now we are number 7.1. It's a request from citizen considered Edward Worf. This is a correspondence, Mr. The executive director. So we have some correspondence that was proposed like to the council like before the summer. So it was asked like at the last meeting, like a citizen came in, they wanted to get an answer. We could not answer everyone up because they did not give all their address. So what we are suggesting, like the council could maybe answer by giving some option, give an administration director to the administration. I have no other, unless you have any other suggestion. It's a copy of the resolution that passed, and the resolution was not in August, was in June, sorry. It was adopted in June. So I had a note here also for the council, for the meeting of the June 7th to identify a consultant that could analyze like the place for the Riverside Street, so the challenges, solution, site plan, and cost, and also to identify other places around the Squiduk River to do the same analysis of challenges, solution, and cost, what it could look like. So we adopted a motion on this at the end of June. So I think it's back on the agenda a little bit later. So the answers will be sent this week or beginning of next week. Councillor Paul, just a question like for those correspondents. I know the council took a good decision like to trying to address like the concern like outside of the water, like different process, but so they're asking to have access like to the water. So who could answer or give us the answer? How would 911 like be? Is it ambulance, St. John ambulance, or ambulance NB like the firefighters, the RCMP? We always indicated like the firefighter that they would not go there. Coast Guard also at Pointe du Chien, but for 911, what? Either like a Coast Guard or any other team for to go on those ramps. Like they want to go where it's safe. That's what I was wondering, like the Coast Guard. Thank you, Gilles. Just want to note.
2016 Wetland Design Studio had already
Visitor provided with their 5 optimal locations, and they were turned out because of constraint. So the report identified like 5 locations. MUD did not recommend any of the 5th because it was not; these were not optimal locations. So these locations were not recommended. So essentially, from because of what was there. So I was just surprised. So maybe they did not look at the whole report. So next correspondence. Lobster Festival, it comes from Mr. Pascal Haché, is the chair. It refers to what Councilor Patrice said. It's an opportunity to represent like the town also in Louisiana from October 12 to 18 at the plenary meeting last week. I discussed it with Denis for the community life. I think Denis would be willing to go to Louisiana. I think they made some arrangements, so. Perfect. So, as I said, like, so if we had money to do so, well, and availability, and I think Denis would be the right person to go there. And the last one is from downtown Shediac. Councillor Patricia. I just wanted to add a discuss it with Denis and Trudy, so maybe next year, not this year, because there were a lot of activities like during those dates, but there are some meetings for mayors and some discussions. So maybe
Planifier notre budget, là.
for maybe to include it in the budget. So I don't think there's not too much margin for maneuver. Just have to see. It's for trips. So might be something for the mayor and maybe one councillor. No, I do. It was a last minute decision from the festival to support Councillor Books of Ag. So if we want to meet like Beaubridge or partners, well, and the municipal council could be there and make things go forward. And I think it's reciprocal. And after eventually, like Beaubridge might come here to meet with us. So it's just maybe to test the waters and see like what the corrections could be made. And Councillor Books Chevalier realized like they would be part, the mayor or one of you would be part of the delegation. It would be great because the Beaubridge municipalities is like our twin town. So we've been here for 10 years, so we haven't heard anything from them. So if we could start at least to make some efforts, and at least once in a while, maybe to keep this in mind. So when we prepare the budgets. Thank you. Councillor Paul. I attended, I went to Louisiana with some board members. It's very productive. And the discussion with Beaubridge, and it's at the Lafayette, and it was great. So this is our twin town. So it's been a while since we have any cultural exchange. I think since the Congress in 2019, and I know like last year or even over the last 2, 3, 4 years, the village of Capelé was twinned with the Broussard, and they went there and they came here, and Bouctouche. It was mostly like for the Congress, and Bouctouche also like. It's something we can do, like the pandemic hit and came in, and we're hoping like the things will get calmer. Thank you very much. Next correspondence is from Centre-Ville chez Downtown. It's from Annie Croix, that's the presentation you had, and the budget also attached in the resolution 7.3.1. I would like our representative, Councillor Janice. Thank you, Janice. Centre-Ville chez Downtown Inc. but 2020 budget. Whereas the City Council has received the proposed 2023 operating budget for 2023, Centre-Ville chez Downtown Inc. for approval. Therefore, be it resolved that the clerk, on behalf of the council, cause to be published within the time prescribed by Section 4(2) in bracket 2 of the Business Improvement Areas Act, the public notice of the adoption of such bylaw, and that the deadline for receiving written objectives to the budget be October 31st, 2022. I shall move. Moved by Councillor Janice Cormier. Questions on the motion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Against nay. Motion carried. So this ends our correspondence. So we have no report for standing committees. So it will be at the next regular meeting at the end. The report for the for the administrators. So we have no recommendation from the Service Commission. Mr. Boudreau is happy. So for unfinished business. We have 11.1, Luigi Robichaud School, a request for this financial support for LED signs. So it was a letter like that. It was a while back. Do we have any updates? Mr. LeBlanc, yes. So the LJR school. So you had some questions at the last meeting when we brought this subject of the request. It was to know if they get some funding elsewhere. So I can confirm like $10,000 for another foundation, but the project is going forward. But in the summer it's more quiet. So they still have the intention to have an LED sign, and the province will be contributing to the project, but they're asking like the school to get money from the community. So over the next few weeks, there should be a campaign on social media to collect money from the communities. And the question is to know like if the payments. I think they had a request for 15,000, and will it be spread over a few years? So it could be like a contribution. And so we checked with the province, and that would be possible too. So it will be for our budget discussion. Councillor Paul. So often, Denis, like, so the request for the LJR school is not only we do not only have students from Shediac, but so did they submit the request for the neighboring communities? Yeah, well, we had some discussion, but no confirmations yet. So they discussed with the various municipal council, but no discussion. No doubt, like the son will benefit the school. So, but if they asked for Cap Acadie, so they asked for the other municipal councils. So perfect. It's interesting, like when the request. So we put the conditions. So if the other communities contribute. So we are not the only one. We are not like a bank for Southeastern New Brunswick, but here. But they're specific. They're looking for $15,000. So they must be targeting a different amount for Beaubassin-Capelé. It's not a letter that is addressed for everyone. Like it's only for the town of Shediac. So that's the way I see it for now. It's interesting, then if we could get some information. It would be interesting if they could also like forward their budget, the total cost. I knew it wasn't part of the letter. There was a budget, I think $50,000, and I think it was 45,000. I'm not sure, if I'm not mistaken. It's a third of the price. If we can spread it over a period of time, well, it would be more affordable. So we will not need a decision. Next item, Shediac Legion, number 33, and the cadets. So then you had other information because. So the request was quite vague. So we were able to realize what they look at was mandated, like to create the partnership document, but I don't think it was. So I had a meeting with the group of the cadets, and we were at the room upstairs, and we had discussion and to look what they were looking for. So it was quite. So they went to the community hall at Pointe du Chêne. So that's where they are. For now, they are very happy. So right now, they don't need anything from us. So we did some recruitment for them. So they're quite pleased with what we did. They didn't need like an official document. So maybe like it might be something to look in our boundaries. But for now, like they seem to be pleased. So if we can satisfy their request, it doesn't have to be complex. It's even better. So. Next item, update on the legal advice concerning like the PID for the Edward Wharf. So I mentioned it to the plenary. So I received like a summary of a report from Mr. Daigle, Councillor Daigle. So you should get like a copy this week. So they are preparing a final report. So I was under the impression like I never see the report, but so I asked to check a few things and I should get the report this week. Perfect. It was a simple question, but an update on the study concerning access to water. So is it you, Gilles, or Denis? So Denis has more details. So we checked with Inclobe like to get a quote to study like to look into like the Edward Wharf and also like the access to Scoodic River. So we got some prices, and we wanted to know like if it's exactly what we're looking. So they gave us the go ahead, and we could do a study on this one. So we were comfortable with the amount they presented to us. So we are ready to go forward.
Une fois que c'est plus finalisé, ben là, on va là, ça,
So once it's finalized, we're able to bring it to the council and to agree,
deux Nicolas Semaine.
and the study could be done.
C'est après ça, ensuite,
Councillor Patricia and then Paul. So on what they send or propose, is there a certain specific amount of time like they need to do this job? And can we start planning like a deadline? So they asked the question as to know like when we want it, but so the sooner the better, but I will see how long. So it's not an answer like. So maybe if we could get an answer like, are we talking 2 months or 3 months or more? It's just to assess like the sites, but to know like to make sure like when spring comes like we still have no idea. At least to have an idea like how long it would take. Councillor Paul. Thanks, Patricia. For Denis, could we also have exactly like what will be submitted? Because we discussed it for a long time, like, and Sylvia was there for active transportation. So could we know like what we expect? So what they will give us, because we knew like those discussion like very animated, but it's very well appreciated. Like the report targets what we want for safety, for access, for the cost, which is very important. So before we submit a report, would it be possible? I will send it like to Gilles and then forward it to the council.
mais ça que t'avais, il y avait certains éléments.
So what you had, there were some component to specify. So if we receive something, it's not it's not like the full picture. It's component. Some will remember like the meeting we had in June. I think
En juin,
it was in June to make sure everything's there, so they can deliver the merchandise. So thank you.
11.5,
11.5, 42 King Street. So we discussed this file last week. There was a fact like the owner of 42 King asked for legal effort. They asked if it would be possible to control like the legal costs. So I discussed with Barris Hébert, and he will talk with the lawyer of the other party, and we will sure like we would pay like and it's adding also in her own invoice. So this amount will go for legal fees. So we will pay like for the legal invoice, and then following the registration of all the transaction, we need to go. We'll be able to go to the next step. Questions?
projet 11.6.
Item 11.6, infrastructure project, a leisure infrastructure project. So Denis will. So we had 2 meetings like to put this project in place. So I think at the last meeting we had a mandate from the of the council to see what we could dream of and to see what we could put. And we found 2 consultants. They would be able to put something in place, to put a plan in place, and to do it by the end of the November, which is the deadline. So we're looking to have something in place. So the 2 will also test the waters with the population. So we already had some consultants. So one was hired for the population, and the other one it was more like the conceptualization of the project. So So if things can go forward, like
possible pour la déposer.
as soon as possible to submit it, and the project also can continue to be
Concrétiser par la suite.
be realized.
Merci, Denis.
Thank you, Denis.
Conseil Paul?
Councillor Paul, so just for you, like Denis, the same thing also. Could we get like the main lines what we're asking? Is it only for a project or is it specific question? The location for a future project is going fast. It will all be addressed. So the two consultants, it will be like a public consultation, and the other one will be like the concept part. And yes, we'll be able like to come back with some details and what the study will comprise. So will you have some kind of communication plan for this project just to inform like the public so they don't have false expectation and to make sure like we follow the steps? So people expect that to have like a $350 million project. So just to make sure like it's well advertised, and I know like Gilles, you're good at this. Future plan, bang the table,
C'est kick the footstool.
kick the footstool. Just to answer like Councillor Boudreau, so one of the two cabinets, it's a consulting cabinet, so they will prepare a mandate for the public. So it's good. Thank you very much. So we need to be within our means. So see what can be on the table, and we'll adjust accordingly.
Numéro 12, introduction.
Number 12, introduction new business. We have one item. Studio Some Money is the purchase of the photograph file. So we discussed it at the plenary last week.
On aurait besoin.
So we will need,
Est-ce que tu as les détails? Là,
I don't know what was the details, so we're talking about, it's a $10 per file. It's 200 and 300 files that, so they're looking, so they need to have a confirmation of the exact numbers. Maybe $2,000-3,000 like in fees. So
des photos.
so these are photos that are going back 20, 30 years ago. Well, I think they go as far since the existence of Sormani. So it's all a picture that have been taken like other over the years. So, Councillor Sylvie, so thank you. So, following the discussion we had, I move that we accept the request submitted by Studio Sormani of $10 per file. And if it goes to $3,000, it's okay. But if ever like if it's way above, well, we can get back to the council. But if it's closed, we must have an account like for council special projects. We cannot lose this, absolutely. So I move by Councillor Sylvie Colette Boudreau, seconded by Councillor Bourg-Chavary.
Tous en faveur, oui, non, oui.
All those in favor signify saying aye. Against nay. Motion carried. Thank you.
Numéro 13.
13.
Renseignement par les
Request from the council members. So my mic is on. It's the same as the Lobster Festival.
Je vous demanderai d'essayer d'être
So it has to be as
tous bien sages.
you're all very good. So I'm just remembering you, Councillor Sylvie. Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Following an email I sent last weekend, I have some citizens who mentioned like where was it, like the Saint Joseph Street, where is I like they have some concern and if it's it should go back to the council for the Saint Joseph Street. I don't know if we have any updates, but we'll get into details. But yes, like it's going forward. So we have a communication with the property owner. So it's in contingency. So we only have one concern. We want to make sure want to make sure to have something in writing that like that this land will be used by the municipality. So these are small details just to tackle. It's just to protect the investment we will be making, because there's some investment to be done at the end of the street. I think it's close to $25,000 from the town, because it's part of the project contingency, like Saint Joseph Street. We just want to make sure when it's done, it's guaranteed. So if we had do it like when they were, would it be done the same? So the money would have been spent then too, right? Not necessarily to. No, it's just to know, like, we do not have those details, but yet I don't think it would have changed a lot. No, it's separate. Like these are not the same construction work. It's extra work to build a cul-de-sac. The next Council Peterborough. So it's just concerning like the surface, if there was any developments. So are there any new developments, Mr. Leblanc? Good news? No news? We're still in a waiting period. So the action plan was to rebuild like the surface in April or May of next year. So for now, we are only preparing the document like to go into tenders, the tender document. So that's where the file is for now. So is the company, I don't know if I missed anything. Did the company recognize their fault? Not yet. So the municipality will do some work, and then to see if there will be like if they will sue or not. Well, it will be, well, no, the surface will be done. Only the surface, like the boards will be removed and put on a new surface. So we will get the product we need. Thank you. Councillor Janice. Thank you, Miss. I have a question for the Commission, Service Commission. Mr. Boudreau. Is on. Yeah, you're fortunate I'm here. If you were not. So my question, I have a few citizens that approach me. There's a movement like between the Bonsoir and the Manoir Pascal Poirier, and some people went into the backyard for drainage. Is there anything happening in that part of town? Not for development or construction permit that went through me. I'm not sure like which file you're talking about. Wasn't there like a development project? It was behind like the manor where we were filling like some land, but it was a proposed project. But I haven't heard anything like for a while, like because some surveying was done like between the Bonsoir and the Manoir. So if you can send me an email with more details on this line, well, I could check if there's something happening in the area, and we can discuss certainly. Thank you. Councillor Paul and then Councillor Germain. Only one item. We'll echo it for the weekend. So the festival. Excellent comment. Like just my suggestion. So when it comes to the budget, we're mentioning the budget often. So to make sure like so we keep the bar high enough. Like we created very good expectation to combine like the festival, like to do like a celebration in September. Bravo, Denis. So what I heard like usually is really nice, like to offer like what the lobster could offer this week. So I hope like the budget, I don't know like what was the contribution, but It's an investment, a quality of life for our citizens. Thank you, Denis. And the municipality contributed $20,000. If I remember well, for the lobster festival. Yeah.
Combien était le budget?
I don't know what was the total budget. I think it's a new festival. No, it's not stable, but I think we were able to get like a budget of 115,000. So it's not. I mean, it's not huge, but I think 75% of the amount is invested in local artists. It's great as an infrastructure. It's the second year, so we're not 100% pleased with what we see. So we'll have some work to do. So myself and Julie, we're hoping like within 5 years we can do something really good with that festival. If Mother Nature wants to cooperate with nice weather, we will place an order for next year. Councillor Germaine and then Janet. I'm a little bit late with this. So the development of Main Street. So if they do nothing, can it clean it? They should have cleaned it with the before the tourists on Main Street. Oh yes, like just like the like we have like some piles of dirt. I got some complaints over the last week, and I noticed it, and I forgot to tell it here. So I think they would need to clean it if they want to do something, at least to clean it, remove some the tractors, a pile of dirt, and so he's using as a site for under construction site. So it's right downtown Shediac. Mr. Boudreau, did he submitted his request? Yes, he submitted the request. So there's still the consolidation for water to finalize like the revision of the permit. So I think it's coming to an end. So he's working actively. Can they clean it? So you need to break an egg to make an omelet. So it's a project. Yeah, it's a great project. It will be nice when it's done. That's what we're saying. That's what we've been saying for a while. Councillor Janet. Yes. Councillor Denis, I got some comments from the citizen, like the arts festival in the fall. They really appreciate it because it's after the tourist season. So it's really like a festival for our communities. So I got a lot of comments. So that's what I wanted to share. They feel it's a community festival. It's a festival for our citizens. It's not a festival like for all over Canada. So they really appreciate it. It's true. It's a great addition to our programs. And we're always looking to have something vibrant in our downtown, in our community, so it adds a lot. So with some lights and Councillor Patricia. Thanks, Mr. Mayor. And you will throw some flowers at Denis and Jill like for the weekend this week. It was concerned. I got a call from a lady, and maybe she called for the speed on Pascal Poirier Street, and she said she called other councillors. So I don't know if she called. I don't know if I can bring it like to the security committee. So with the trail, there's a lot of people walking with strollers. It's on Pascal Poirier. She's building a house there. Yes, I know. Like I can't remember her family last name. Like she said, it's incredible. Like with the traffic, so the cars are driving fast, and a lot of people are walking. So she wanted to see. She would like to see the speed limit reduced. So the street is not narrow, sir. So the wider the street, so maybe you floor it more. So I said I would forward like the message to the safety committee, so we could do a study at the next meeting with the signs. So I think this summer it was set, so they went to a few spots. That's something we'll do. So I just wanted to convey the message. So I did not get any call. Councillor Germaine, second. I just received like a message, Greenwood Street, same problem.
Parce qu'elle demandait si on avait une bylaw.
Because she was asking if we had a bylaw officer, so we have none.
Officer garant de la vitesse.
Well, the bylaw officer cannot stop for speeding, so this is the RCMP.
On peut les regarder passer, mais ça me va.
She can look at them go by, but she cannot do anything. It seems like they're speeding there too. So the Greenwood was already studied, and with the proposed development
Ron Lord, là,
from Ron Lord,
Ronda, là,
like the Veranda Street,
ça allait améliorer ça.
it would improve this a bit.
Une
And
maison,
they would be removing a house like right in the curb, and
tu vas voir plus loin.
at least you will be able to see a little bit farther.
T'as vu pas obstrué, là, c'est plus.
So you're
Mais il y avait des ajouts qu'on voulait faire. Puis ça,
so there were some additions to be done. So it's in planification. It's just to make this street safer.
c'est bien.
Councillor Emile. It reminds me like the subject for the bylaw officer. So where are we at with this? So it hasn't been decided. So I send a report and with some details. So we'll open the position again because we have a partnership with the municipality to open the positions. So we should get a full report by the end of the week. So a partnership with another municipality. So we had a little bit of a difficulty, like to fill the position for 5 days a week for all year round. So we had like 2 days with Michel Berthier. It was a full-time position, and in the winter, in the summer it's in the winter it's more of a challenge. So we were looking for services from the town of Dieppe. Now we're looking for maybe someone more local. So I think I prepared a report last Friday. I cannot understand like to share it with the municipality, because if you look the population of the town of Dieppe, they have 5 bylaws officer compared, and the mountain city like 80 some thousand, they have 452, plus they hire like they'll be hiring 8 new ones, and in January will be 10,600 individuals. I can see how we cannot justify to buy like to hire another bylaw officer. So for 2023, we're not offering like any services in LSDs, so we did not get that request yet. So we're staying for 2023. It will be only the town limit, and then we'll see. So it's mostly like in the LSD, like for the unsightly premises. So there's no bylaw for the LSD. I cannot agree that we will get rid of that position. But the LSD is like, but I mean, like Pointe du Chêne, Scodoc, the new regions. Bottom line will need them when we'll have bylaws in place, but there's none left. Yes, it will come up, but it's not something we get by February. I do not understand why we are getting rid of this position. We're opening the position again. We'll look with the neighboring municipalities, and then a couple of days a week. So we'll need someone like to work 5 days a week for the town, and then we could lend it like that's what they're proposing. That's what he said. Yeah, it would be an employee from the municipality. It's good. Go see my report. Like I submitted on Friday. So next item, 14, presentation and reading of the bylaw. So we have one on the agenda. Councillor Janice for downtown. First reading of bylaw B2310, budget of Centre-Ville Chadillac downtown. So I propose like for the meeting bylaw 2310, a bylaw regarding the budget of Centre-Ville Chadillac to be authorized, and that this bylaw is read by title, first reading, seconded by Sylvie Colette Boudreau, moved by Councillor Janice Cormier. Question: if not, all those in favor signify saying aye, against nay. Motion carried. Clerk. Bylaw number B dash 23 dash 3, a bylaw regarding the budget of Centre-Ville Shediac Downtown Inc. I move that we adopt the first reading of the bylaw B23 10, moved by Councillor Janice Cormier, seconded by Sylvie Colette Boudreau.
Tous en faveur, en disant
All those in favor saying aye, against nay.
adopté.
Carried. And next one, number 50, motion and resolution. Just a question, like for this budget. So what we were told, like to prepare the budget. So all the requests we referred last week. So everything like that we decided, it's all part of the package you will be using like to prepare the 2022 budget. So we will not redo like the exercise like. So all the town contributions, so it would all be added to the budget. Thank you. So we have the intention to bring the budget to the council. It's not at the end of the day the minister will approve. The council will see the budget for the town of Shediac. We'll see all the details. We'll represent it as we do with our budget discussion. So I just say the budget would be approved by the province, but we're still following the same process. So with the budget, it will be presented to you,
On pourra ajuster.
and we can adjust accordingly. No, we'll probably not be voting. Thank you. It will be also with all like the LSDs, and so we'll be presenting the budget, and at the end of the day, the minister will decide. Perfect. 15.1. It's application for excessive noise exemption. Councillor Jamin will read it. Thank you. Application for excessive noise exemption Fall Festival. That the report concerning the excessive noise exemption be approved as presented. No, just this part. I shall move by Councillor Jamin Gala, seconded by Sylvie Colette Boudreau. Could you simplify what are the activities and what we are planning to do, Mr. LeBlanc? So we're bringing a change like to the famous like the witches outing. So usually like it would end at the multi-purpose center, and with the money like the downtown got, we are proposing like to end the festivities at the restaurant. So maybe with the half of the witches, they would already be downtown, so we would offer like a certain amount to the local restaurants to have some music groups so that the witches could just go downtown. So some have terraces like such as State and Mock Tortue, so we want to make sure they're part of this initiative. So the terrace, it was a little bit of a challenge, so that's why we had a noise exemption for this one. Question from the council. If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Adopté.
Carried.
Pas de nomination au comité prévu ce soir.
No nominations to committees.
Conseiller Émile propose la
Councilor Chairman is moving the adjournment. So the committee for the fire station would like to add another member.
pas pour ce soir, je l'ai pas reconnu.
Not for this evening. I did not meet with him.
Oui.
So we're waiting for.
Je connais pas.
It's a guy I do not know yet.
Parfait. OK.
So I move the adjournment of the meeting. So Emile can also move like the adjournment of the meeting. Moved by Councillor Emile O'Brien. Thank you very much.